Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kateryna and I'm your English teacher from Canada. In today's lesson, I will be sharing 10 French words that are commonly used by English speakers.
I have sampled every language. French is my favorite. Fantastic language.
If you are learning English as a second language, this video will be very helpful for you because I have chosen words that I regularly hear in everyday conversations. If you didn't know, French and English are the national languages of Canada. I hope you enjoy this video and let's dive in. The first French word commonly used by English speakers is déjà vu. Déjà vu is that very strange feeling we get sometimes when we feel like we've experienced something before. For example, when I walked through the old house, I had a strange sense of déjà vu. Feels like I've seen it before in a dream. Déjà vu comes from French and means already seen. It was coined in the late 19th century and it expresses the familiarity with a situation or an experience.
About this.
Hmm?
Do you ever have déjà vu?
Didn't you just ask me that?
2. Cliché, an overused idea or phrase. For example, when he said that the dog ate his homework, that sounded so cliché. Everyone has heard that one before. The word originated from the early printing press when a special stereotype plate was used to produce the same design over and over. The meaning of the word evolved over time, and now we use it to describe an overused phrase, a tired phrase, something that lacks originality.
Be a total cliche if I kissed you right now?
Yes.
3. Fiancé. This is a person engaged to be married. For example, at the dinner, Sarah introduced us to her fiancé, Mark. Both spellings of the word are pronounced the same. The first form is masculine and the second form with the extra E is feminine. They are derived from the verb fiancé, which means to get engaged or to betroth. Betroth is a bit of an old-fashioned word now in English, not heard as often, but it basically means when a person asks someone else to get married, they are betrothed, they are engaged, and that person becomes your fiancé.
I'm your fiancé.
My fiancé! Yes, you are! And my...
4. Rendezvous, a meeting or an appointment. For example, let's have a rendezvous downtown at the coffee shop at 3 p.m. Rendezvous is a French word that means literally present yourselves. It originally referred to a meeting place where people would gather. It has been adopted into English to mean like a gathering or a meeting.
I have a rendezvous beyond my beloved horizon.
5. Faux pas. It is a social mistake or an error in etiquette. It's basically a mistake that you make in a public setting, and it can be very embarrassing. For example, saying something about my wife in front of her family was a major faux pas. Faux pas translates to false step, and it emphasizes this misstep in etiquette in a social setting or a blunder. It has been used in English since the 17th century to describe this breach in etiquette and the awkwardness that is created after.
Oh, excuse my faux pas.
6. Avant-Garde. It means ahead of the times and especially used in the arts. So how can you understand this ahead of the times? The current year and what is socially accepted in our society, the person is doing something very different and they are going beyond these social expectations. Other people might find it rather shocking or even uncomfortable. For example, The artist's avant-garde paintings challenged the traditional notions of beauty. Avant-garde means advance guard, and it was originally used in the front lines of the army. In the arts, it describes innovative and experimental approaches. The term has been used since the early 20th century to describe unconventional artistic movements.
Vampires who pretend to be humans pretending to be vampires.
Avant-garde.
Now let's move on to a couple of words related to food. 7. À la carte. It means ordering individual dishes from a menu rather than a fixed meal. For example, we decided to order à la carte so that we could try a variety of dishes from the restaurant. The term has been used since the mid-19th century in English to describe precisely that, ordering individual items when dining out. Let me help you understand this. So you might go to a restaurant and see on the menu some main dishes. For example, chicken with mashed potatoes and broccoli, steak with fries. But then you can look at à la carte and you can actually order these things individually. You only want mashed potatoes? Okay, mashed potatoes à la carte. French fries à la carte. So you're ordering just that one individual item.
The room's not ready. There's mistakes all over the a la carte menu. We're trying to find these particular truffles. They're called Savini.
8. Soup du jour. Soup of the day. This is also commonly seen on a restaurant menu. The soup that is offered changes throughout the week, depending on what's in season or simply what the chef has created. For example, the waiter informed us that the soup du jour is a carrot ginger soup. I'm looking forward to trying it. Looking forward. I am excited to try it. This term has been incorporated into English-speaking culinary culture to describe the daily offering of soup.
What is the soup du jour?
It's the soup of the day.
That sounds good. I'll have that.
9. Bon appétit. This is a French phrase wishing someone a good meal. For example, as the waiter served the food, he smiled and said bon appétit. The phrase in French directly translates to good appetite. An appetite in English is that desire that we have to eat something. You know, sometimes if you're not feeling good or you're sick, you don't have a good appetite. You don't want to eat. So it's that sort of desire and wanting to eat. This is a very polite and friendly phrase wishing someone an enjoyable meal.
Bon appetit.
Thank you.
RSVP. Please respond to my invitation. For example, the wedding invitation kindly asked us to RSVP by the end of the month. RSVP comes from the French phrase répondez s'il vous plaît, which translates to respond if you please. It is a polite way of asking someone to answer to an invitation. So if you are having some kind of gathering or party and you are sending invitations to people, you want them to RSVP so that you can plan your party accordingly, so you know how many guests you're gonna have.
But it's like when I had this garden party for my father's birthday, right? I said RSVP because it was a sit-down dinner. But people came that did not RSVP. So
all right, and that concludes the 10 French words commonly used by English speakers. Now, I do live in Canada, and this is definitely a Canadian phenomenon. Our two national languages are French and English, so I'm not sure how common this is in the US. If you live in the US and you speak American English, let me know, do French words appear in your daily conversations? Tell us about it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would love to make a part 2 with 10 more words. This was a very interesting video to research and learn about. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye!